24, 25 now.
Right.
Smarter than I will ever be. If you could watch The Simpsons 24/7, you know, listen, by the way, let's put The Simpsons back on. Why did you change the station? Sorry, I thought like 5 hours of The Simpsons was enough. Apparently, Peter is not.
It is not. As a diehard Simpsons aficionado, it is not.
So, you have questions. Do you have questions?
I do, and also
You do?
the people in attendance have questions as well.
Well, I may not have any answers, but we'll see.
Maybe we could do, comic questions, movie questions, dating, marriage advice, stuff like that. Anything.
You didn't mention sex.
I did not mention sex.
Like-
Oh, that.
You want to talk about The Simpsons, I want to talk about sex. Is this being recorded? By
Yes, it is actually.
Oh, I'm so glad it is.
So you've had a prolific career.
Kind of that with what's that, that Bleeding Cool News?
Oh no.
Yeah, I'm hoping we make it. This we should be. And it's just a building block for you, Peter.
We're trying, working on a dream. But, so, your career, let's first tell people at home listening on the podcast and also here how you got started. How'd you get started in comics then?
How did I get started in comics? I went to my first Comic-Con about, it was either 67 or 68 when Phil Supling was running the New York City Comic-Cons, which were the only Comic-Cons around. And it was really about comics. And I think the second one I went to, I had a bound volume of all Jim Steranko's Shield books. I loved Steranko. So I went up to, Jim was signing books, had a crowd of people around him. And so when I got up to him, I gave him my book, and Jim goes, "You're Don McGregor." And I'm going, "What the hell is Jim Steranko? Why do you know who Don McGregor is?" He said, "Oh, Don, so I'm having a private party tonight in my room. Come in at 1 o'clock and don't give this room number to anybody," because at this time she was incredibly fine. And I go, you want me to come to you? This is great. So I went to Jim's room, and Jim put on a hell of a show that night. We were there till about 4 o'clock in the morning, and I met Alex Simmons for the first time. And we became buddies right away. Now, I come from the state of Rhode Island. Alex comes from Spanish Harlem. And we should have had nothing in common, but we had this love for comics, this love for movies and TV series, the stuff that spoke to us. And I think it's one of the first times for me that I, became, had people that understood what I was passionate about. And it was like, yeah, I saw that movie, it was a pretty good movie. What's next? Well, did you see the football game last night? No, I didn't see the football game. And you want to talk about cars, like the car, that brand new, I don't care about cars. You want to talk about women, I'm willing to talk about that. Other than that, no, I'm not. I'm just not interested. So anyhow, I met Alex, and we started talking, and I said to Alex, we were doing films together. We were working on films together. And Alex, we're doing action, because we love to do our own stunts. And I know one time I had Alex come out to Rhode Island, and I say, we're going to take this fall down, let's go have a fight, we're going to fall down, and you're going to swing an axe at my head and put it in this tree. But we didn't know anything about fake weapons.
Right.
Alex is swinging a real axe. He said, "Don, are you sure you want to do it?" I said, "Believe me, I'm going to be keeping my eye on that axe." But Alex is the only one I would do that kind of stuff with. Earlier, if you're doing it with people who really aren't serious about this stuff, you got to be very careful with stuff. I was doing another one earlier with somebody, and I had a machete. I was a real machete. So we're doing a fight scene on the dock, and can I stand up and do a little?
Yes, you may.
So the stunt was, actually I'm going to put this down. The stunt basically was, the guy's got this machete, and he comes at me, and he swings this machete at me, and I leap backwards so that the machete would, this is me, not coming like down his arm, take it, punch him, and throw him in the water. So we practiced it half a dozen times, and when the camera goes on, and this is what happens with a lot of people, when the camera goes on, they're saving it for the camera. And so when the camera goes on, the guy now, where he's going like this, he goes, behind me back and tears through my shirt, puts a red line right straight across my
Ooh.
visage. Now, by the way, though, if you're doing a movie, you don't fucking yell cut. You say, I can hit it, guns down, bang, bang, toss it in the water. And then I was, are you out of your mind? That's a real knife. I'm bleeding over here. And you say, what's that got to do with comics, Don?
Yes, what does that have to do with comics, Don?
So then I said to Alex, well, we should do our own comic. And,
yes, let's save it to the pages instead.
well, no, we're still doing the movies. That was, Denning and Rainey were actually created, the Detectives Incorporated. They were created for Alex and I to play on screen, because for most of the time we were playing opposite each other, so we could do fight scenes together. But really, all Detectives Incorporated is I Spy set in New York City.
Right.
And it's very much influenced by those guys, and Alice and I had that kind of relationship. But Alice could also draw. Like, I could do one thing reasonably well if I worked really, really hard at it. Alice could do many things. She's so multi-talented. And Alice could draw. So I said, well, you know what? We should do Detectives Incorporated as a comic. So he would come out to Rhode Island, and he drew a lot of it in New York. And we were like late, we were trying to get ready for the New York Con, having a time. But in those days, because you were young guys like you, hell, we didn't want to be sitting behind a table selling books. So we got the book, I mean, literally get the book done the day before coming to the con. And so when we get there, and you could, in those days, you could hire somebody to sell your book. They would, and then you could do the con and have a good time. And so now I've got my first comic. See, we are getting into comics. So I have my first comic. It's got a Pepto-Bismol pink cover on it. As you can see it, like if I'm up here and I hold that book up, you're gonna see the pink from all the way in the back. So we go to the con with the book, and when people would be going on a panel like this, they're like, I don't really normally like doing these kind of films. I like to do stand-up, because then I can go up amongst you people. I can, whatever comes to my mind, I can do it, and it seems to be like, oh, it's pretty static if you're always just behind your table. So Alice and I go see the show with Jim Warren. And Jim Warren's up on the panel, but as people are going up to the panel, I'm handing out Detectives Incorporated.
Nice.
So everybody on the panel, and I know what people on panels do, because there's a bunch of people, they're bored. When I'm talking, the other people are going like, oh, Don's just going on and on. And then they're looking at your book. So everybody sees, these writers and others all looking at Detectives Incorporated. But not that I have any battle plan. If you think there's a battle plan how to get into comics, most of it's like, there's like 3 choices you have. I'll go into that later if you want. But there's no plan here. I'm in the audience, and Jim Warren is fielding questions, and I'm sitting where you're sitting. And I raise my hand, and Jim Warren, and Jim is going on about how great Warren magazines, his magazines, he's going mail order. And so he can do stuff that Marvel and DC can never do, because he's got the greatest comics in the world. And so then I raise my hand, and Warren says, yeah, and I go, well, if that's true, Mr. Warren, then why are you publishing the kind of crap you're publishing? Which is probably not the thing you normally should say to somebody you might be asking to do writing work for. And now, I don't know what Jim said on the panel, but when the panel was over, Jim Warren comes stalking off that stage, and before I could get out of the room, he goes, hey, hot shot. And which, by the way, for the rest of the convention, that was money for Hot Shot Charlie from Terry and the Pirates, another comic convention link, okay? So now Jim goes, hey, Hot Shot, well, how dare you ask me a question like that? On a panel like that. Who the hell are you? And I said, I'm not telling my name, and Jim goes, name one story. Name one story I ever did that was crap. Now, to be honest with you, I did something I should not have done.
You pulled out a scroll.
No. Could have. I did something I would not do later on once I was in the business. I named the story. I still think it's crap to this day. I have not changed my opinion on it, but it wasn't right to like. It could have hurt another person who was writing, and not that I had any weight or pull, but somehow I wouldn't do it now. But my only excuse was I was in my 20s, and what the hell did I know? So Jim Warren says, "Oh yeah, then come with me." And he starts over, and in those days they showed movies 24 hours a day, day and night at the conventions. They had just a movie theater, and they showed old movies. In those days, it's the only way you could get to see B movies from the 30s and 40s, or serials, or cult shows that you wouldn't be able to see anywhere else. And I can see Jim is going down the aisles in the dark looking for somebody, and then he sees somebody, he starts pushing this way, and then this tall black guy, 6'6", comes out of the aisle, and he goes, "Don McGregor, this is Billy Graham. Billy Graham, this is Don McGregor. Don McGregor, tell Billy Graham his work is crap."
Wow.
You asked for the story. I'm just telling you what happened. So now, but I never said the artwork was crap. That's not what I said. I said the story was crap, not Billy's artwork. Billy was great. So I said, no, I didn't say the artwork was crap. I said the story was crap. And Jim Warren steps back and he goes, "All right, hotshot, play your cards right, and I'll take you out to dinner tonight." And he ends up taking Alex and I out to dinner with Billy. And Billy and Alex and I become really, really good friends. And Jim Warren says, "Oh, maybe I'll give you a chance to write something for me." So when you ask the question about getting into comics, I can advise the way I did it. Maybe what you should do. I'm not saying you can't. I'm just saying
Good idea.
can't tell what would work. It just depends on who you're with. Because if I promise you, if I come up to Jim Warren and I say, "Oh, Mr. Warren, I love your books. This is so great. I like to do what you like." And if you just give me a chance, I would do anything. You get out of here, kid. Get lost. I got things to do.
I didn't think I'd get my hair tousled today, I gotta tell you.
So now, the next morning, I come walking into the con, and Jim Warren is standing. He's holding on to a painting. He's got a cover it over it. And a huge painting. So Warren sees me and said, "Hey, Doc, hotshot, come over here." So I walk over and Jim goes, "I have a Vaughn Baudet painting under here." You understand? I got a Vaughn Baudet painting under here. I have writers. Everybody wants to do a story around this cover. I'm going to give you think you're such a hotshot, don't you? I said, "No, I don't, Jim. Yeah, you do. I tell you what, hotshot. I'm going to let you see this painting, and I'm going to give you 10 seconds, and you give me a story." And Jim lifts up the thing, and there's this beautiful Vaughn Baudet painting, and he starts going 10, 9, 8. I got nothing. 7, 6, 5. I'm just a deer in headlights. 4, 3. But the one thing I know is that when he gets to 0, I'm going to stop talking. And he goes, 2, 1, 0. And I go, "Okay, so there's these two guys. Hey, wait a minute, come on. I got professional writers writing. You think I would give it to a nobody like you? A little short guy like you? I would give it to you? That's never going to happen." So I never got to pitch a story for him. 3 months later, when I'm writing stories for Warren, by the way, at the amazing sum of $25 a story. If you did an 8-page story, it was $25. If you did a 10-page story, it was $25. If it was a 12-page story, it was $25. Eventually it went up to $40. This is about working in comics. You want to know about working in comics? They own everything, and man, you're just trying to stay alive and tell the stories you want to tell. Because one of the tricks is it just depends on what kind of writer you want to be. So about 3 months later, I get a call from Jim Warren. I'm back up in the state of Rhode Island. And I get a call from Jim. I'm now writing stories for Archie Goodwin's the editor. And God, I was spoiled. Archie Goodwin was my editor. I thought it was going to be like that for the rest of my life. Man, was I being set up. Being conned. It was a con job. Because Archie was leaving. But so Jim calls me and he goes, Don, I'm going to send you that. I'm going to send you the I haven't registered or submitted plots for that Ford Binet painting. I'm going to let you script it. I'll let you script it. I'm going to send you the plots for, I won't name any names, but a lot of writers that you would know. And I said, well, I don't want them. You don't want what? The scripts. I don't care. I don't do their plots. If you want to send me a copy of the painting, I'll look at it. If I find something I want to write about it, write about it. Don, you can't afford to do this. I know what I'm paying you. You can't. I said, nevertheless, Jim, you can send me the painting if you want me to take a look at it, and I come up with something, and that ends up being my first printed story in comics. And Billy Graham, because Billy Graham was the art director, put my name and Tom Sutton's name on the cover the first time that ever happened on a Warren magazine. Many people, I've learned later on, thought Don McGregor was a pseudonym for some other writer that was doing work for Marvel or DC, but didn't want Marvel or DC to know it. So their pseudonym, their fake name was Don McGregor.
Turns out I was hosting this panel by myself. So now you also